Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmaswarupine avatara varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Shritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukhaswarupaya Swamine Tapaharine Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwarah Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Today is 12th January, birthday of Swami Vivekananda according to English calendar. In India, it is being celebrated as the National Youth Day. That means birthday of Swami Vivekananda is National Youth Day. It is very significant. And this year, being Azadi ka Amrit Mahotsava, 75 years of independence, it is being specially celebrated everywhere, all over the country. On this day, it is very good for us to remember Swami Vivekananda and his contribution to the country, especially for the youth of India. When we say his birthday is National Youth Day, that means we have accepted the fact that Swami Vivekananda is a youth icon. He is a role model for youth. Naturally, this question arises: why a monk, a sannyasi, who is supposed to be doing tapasya there in the Himalayas, be an ideal, be a role model for the youth? This question naturally comes to our mind. Why we have chosen Swami Vivekananda to be the role model, while there were so many other figures who were national leaders, who fought for our freedom. And in spite of all these things, ultimately we have chosen the birthday of Swami Vivekananda as National Youth Day. The reason is that Swami Vivekananda is a multi-dimensional personality. And he is the ever youth. We cannot imagine Swami Vivekananda as a old, tired person. He is oozing that confidence, oozing that spirit, oozing that enthusiasm constantly, anytime, everywhere. That was the speciality of Swami Vivekananda's personality. And Swami Vivekananda left his body at the age of 39. He was not even 40. So that is the kind of life Swami Vivekananda led. And in fact, he started his public life at the Parliament of Religions in Chicago on 11 September 1893. And then he left the body on 4th July 1902. So that means 9 years of public life. He started at 30th age and it ended at 39th years of age. Only 9 years of public life, Swami Vivekananda has given so much to the country, to the whole world. He has given it to the whole world, especially for India. And that is why he must be remembered. All of us know that he was born in Calcutta to his Vishwanath Datta and Bhuvaneshwari Devi. He was an advocate. Vishwanath Datta was an advocate, and Mother Bhuvaneshwari Devi was a pious personality. She was very religious and also pious. In that family of large-hearted people, his father was a very large-hearted person. Such a family he was born, and through his mother, he got his personality, belief in God, and then faith in himself, and all these wonderful qualities that he got from his mother, the large-heartedness, and this is what he got from his father, Vishwanatha Datta. And we find him, Swami Vivekananda, when he was growing up, along with the religious studies, he has done the study of the history, he did the study of psychology, sociology, and he studied the Western scholars also. Now, after studying the Western scholars, slowly he started developing a kind of atheism, rationalism, which says you believe only when you find yourself. When the question of God came at the youth, at a younger age, he would believe in God. But when he was becoming a youth, Swami Vivekananda started questioning the very existence of God. He told, unless I experience, I will not believe. And this question brought him to Sri Ramakrishna at Dakshineshwar. He was a college student at that time, very bright and very intellectual, highly intellectual. And he came to Sri Ramakrishna at Dakshineshwar and asked him the question, Sir, have you seen God? Sri Ramakrishna by then had practiced the spirituality in his life, all paths of Hinduism, and along with that even Islam and Christianity also. And then he had declared that all paths are different, all religions are different paths to reach the same goal, that is God, that is divinity. This is what he declared. But though God is one, people call him with a different name. So this is what Sri Ramakrishna told, and he had also realized the same truth as the ancient sages who told Ekam Sat Vipra Bahudha Vadanti. And then when he came to Sri Ramakrishna, when Narendra came to Sri Ramakrishna, Narendra Datta, that was the pre-monastic name of Swami Vivekananda. When he came to Sri Ramakrishna, he asked this question, Sir, have you seen God? And with the same spontaneity, Sri Ramakrishna responds, yes, I have seen God. And I have seen him much more clearer way than I am seeing you. But my son, who want to see God? People are only curious to know about God. They are not very serious. If you want to know, I can show you. I can show you also. And Narendra tested Sri Ramakrishna, and when he ultimately realized that the realization of Sri Ramakrishna were true and whatever he was speaking was truth, and he became his disciple and practiced his spirituality for 5 years under him and had the experience of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the highest spiritual experience. Sri Ramakrishna handed over a responsibility to Narendra Nath. He had not yet become Swami Vivekananda at that time, and the responsibility was awakening the country. And whatever spiritual experience he had, and he told him that this country is sleeping. Though we have this spiritual treasure, but then because we are sleeping, we are not able to understand. People in general are not in a position to understand. Awaken this country. This responsibility was given to Swami Vivekananda. Then, after Sri Ramakrishna's Mahasamadhi, he took sannyasa diksha and then did tapasya there, initially in Baranagar Mutt, and then later on traveled all over the country as a Parivrajaka sannyasi. He wanted to know India firsthand, and most of the places he traveled on foot because there was no other mode of transportation at that time. And then he lived with the kings, with the zamindars, and also with the peasants and the poor people. And he interacted with the learned, and he interacted with all classes of people. And in his interaction, he came to know that India is still alive. India is not dead. And he saw the other face of India also. Because of the Mughals rule and later on the British rule, India had become poor because common people did not have education, and that led them to poverty, ignorance and poverty. And when we saw that all over the country, then Swami Vivekananda was weeping, weeping for the poor condition of people in general, the common people of this country. What can I do to uplift them? That is what, his heart was crying. And during this time, he came to know that there would be a parliament of religions in Chicago, in America. And then after so many, these things, ultimately Swami Vivekananda decided to go to America. He traveled by ship from Bombay via Japan, Vancouver, and then reached America. There he had to undergo a lot of difficulty because he did not have warm clothes and he did not have a recommendation letter. With all this difficulty, because of his character, because of his knowledge, Swami Vivekananda ultimately represented India at the Parliament of Religions on 11 September 1893. That was the first speech, response to the welcome, and with that 3.5 minutes speech, Swami Vivekananda became world famous. An unknown monk became world famous. American newspapers gave headlines. If there is anybody who is very prominent in this Parliament of Religions, it is Vivekananda, Hindu monk of India. And this led to invitation to speak all over America. For 4 years, he traveled over America and Europe, and he spread the message of Vedanta. He spread the message of Vedanta, and he spread the message of Indian culture, Indian spirituality. And after 4 years, in 1897, he came back to India via Colombo. From there, he traveled to Rameshwaram. Then from there, he came to Madras, Calcutta. Then even he came to Punjab also, Swami Vivekananda, in Almora. In different places, he addressed the people, and wherever he went, he had that wonderful welcome. People in general, they were waiting for someone, because that was the time we were under British rule, and we had resigned to the fact that this is our fate. Someone will come and rule us. First Mughals came, then Britishers came. Someone is going to rule us, and this is our fate. This is what we had resigned. To such people, Swami Vivekananda gave that wonderful message of confidence. He told, you have tremendous power within you. You can do anything and everything. And wherever he traveled, it was most of the time the youth who took the lead, and they were coming to listen to Swami Vivekananda. And then to them he told, youth of India, my hope lies in you. From you will come my workers. They will work out all problems like lions. This is what is the message he told. He told, my hope lies in the younger generation, in modern generation. And then what he told them? Go from village to village. Educate the common masses. Our problem is ignorance. Once our common people are educated and they understand what kind of development they need, X, Y, Z need not have to come and tell them how they have to develop. First educate them, give them the proper education. And what kind of education? Education, Swami Vivekananda says, we want that education by which character is formed, strength of mind is increased, the intellect is expanded, and by which one can stand on one's own feet. This message Swami Vivekananda started giving, and the effect was tremendous. Until then, we were thinking that the religious ideas of India, the spiritual idea of India, dharma of India had no value because Britishers had conquered us, and then they were imposing their idea, their religion on us, and they were condemning everything that was India. And whatever happens is that, a slavish country, the conqueror, whatever he says is right because might is right. That was the kind of situation we were in. And for such a country, from here went Swami Vivekananda and went to the country of the rulers. He went to first America, then even England and Europe. And there he told, I am proud to be an Indian. And he told them the message of Vedanta, this wonderful message of Vedanta. And then Western people, America and Europe, when they were listening to Swami Vivekananda, they told that if a country can produce a person like Swami Vivekananda, then that must be having the wonderful culture. That means we have not understood India properly. We must study India. We must study Vedanta. We must study Upanishads. We must study Vedas. This is what is the tremendous change of thinking came in the intellectuals of Europe and America. The result was they started coming here, and this news, the kind of success Swami Vivekananda had in America and Europe through the newspaper reached India. And that is how youth of India, they were thinking, say, monk from here has gone there and he has become so popular, and because of him, the country is getting the respect again among the world. When this news came, the youth wanted to see Swami Vivekananda. That was the reason when he came back, he had tremendous reception. Neither a king nor a military commander, none of them had the kind of reception which Swami Vivekananda received. He used this opportunity to awaken the youth of India, awaken Indians. Though India, which had lost its self-confidence, Swami Vivekananda instilled it. You can do anything and everything. You have tremendous power within you. Believe in yourself. Have faith in yourself. This is the message Swami Vivekananda gave. That is why he said, arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. Wake up, he told, rise. You have tremendous power within you. And awake. Wake up to the fact that all power is within you. It is only a question of trying and struggling. Struggle is part of life. The moment you cease to struggle, that means there is something wrong. That is why struggle and struggle. The more and more you struggle, the power in you comes out. This is what is the message he gave to the youth of India. And the result was, there was an awakening. And we started believing. And which ultimately led to the freedom movement of India. India was sleeping. And after Swami Vivekananda's message, India woke up. India woke up. This is what Mahatma Gandhi says. He had been to Belur Mutt, the place where Swami Vivekananda stayed during his last days, and the mutt which was established by Swami Vivekananda, headquarters of the Ramakrishna mission, which was started by Swami Vivekananda. He went to the Belur Mutt, and there, when the youngsters had gathered there, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi told, I have not come here to give you a political speech. He said that I have read the life and message of Swami Vivekananda thoroughly. After having read thoroughly his life and message, my love for India has increased 1,000-fold. These are the words of Mahatma Gandhi, under whose leadership ultimately India got the freedom. And then Jawaharlal Nehru also told the same thing. He said that during our younger days, we have read Swami Vivekananda and derived love for the country from him, patriotism. That is why youth of India of this time also will derive a lot of benefit by studying his life and message. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, he told very clearly, if Swami Vivekananda had been alive today, I would have been serving at his feet. He taught me how to love country. Loving country means serving the country. And we find in Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, serving the country, he sacrificed, he did the supreme sacrifice. He gave up his body while serving the country. That kind of inspiration that he got was from Swami Vivekananda. You will find the freedom movement got impetus and got its direction by Swami Vivekananda. But then Swami Vivekananda had told one very, very important thing to us all. And what is that? He told that if India has to progress, we need proper education, man-making, character-building education. It's only the confident and well-educated and independent thinking youngsters that can build this country. That's what Swami Vivekananda had told. That is why this day we have to think again and again, focus more and more on Swami Vivekananda and his message to the youth, for younger generation. Why? Because youth are the hope for the future. And a proper understanding of the country and its history and its glorious culture, one has to understand that. That's what Swami Vivekananda says, be and make. And he says, first we must imbibe our culture properly. But that doesn't mean that we should get stuck up somewhere. We need modern ideas also. He says, Vedanta as the basic principle and the Western science. When these two are combined, India is going to progress. This is what Swami Vivekananda told very clearly. The idea of brahmacharya for the students is very important, he says, because your character building can happen. You can build a great character during the student life, brahmacharya life. One has to observe that. That gives tremendous power, mental power, spiritual power. And with that comes the confidence. And that alone is not sufficient. Swami Vivekananda told, we should not become a frog in the well. We must go out and see all over the world how the people are progressing. We must make use of the science and technology. Remember, it is very important. It is very important. First, when it comes to character building, we need the idea of Vedanta very clearly. Because Swami Vivekananda says, if you want spirituality, morality is the basis. Unless you have the ethical character, morality as the basis, you cannot have the superstructure called spirituality. So that is why first develop that. Be moral and be strong, Swami Vivekananda says. And then he gave us that wonderful message of, service of man is a worship of God. That one Shiva Jnane Jiva Seva. Tremendous, the principle. He told us very clearly, he told the youth of that time, go from village to village, serve them. Know that that is your worship. And with that idea, when you work, then you will find education. He says, I have traveled all over Europe and America, and I have seen the kind of development that is taking place. And then I had traveled before that in India 4 years. And then the kind of, condition, the ignorance, the poverty of this country. And when I was thinking, what is the difference? Then I found that it is the education that they are getting in the Western world. And that is transforming them. That is why I give that education. What kind of education? Character building, man-making education. So that is why Swami Vivekananda gives us wonderful idea for this development of an individual, how one can develop. First he says that you are the creator of your own destiny. You are the creator of your own destiny. If you struggle, if you work hard, you will develop in life. Education institution is not going to make you great unless you struggle. It is only a help. Parents are not going to make you great unless you struggle. Parents are only help. Everything else is a help. You are the one who are ultimately going to progress in life. That is why Swami Vivekananda says, work hard. You are the creator. And you fix a goal in life, you have the power to achieve that goal. God has given you that power. Only thing is that you have to work hard for that, struggle for that. That is why he says, you are the creator of your own destiny. If you work now, your future will be bright. That's why you are the creator of your own destiny. This tremendous distinction. And then second point was Swami Vivekananda says, have a noble goal for life. Have a noble goal for life. This is what Swami Vivekananda told very clearly. One must have a noble goal for life. So, what should be the goal? He says, your life is not only for you, but it's also for the society, for the world. What is your contribution? For the society, for the country. How you are going to contribute? And thereby he says that, your intellect get expanded. Your thinking get expanded. The more and more you think about yourself, my career, my job, my bank balance, my family, the more and more you become selfish, the power in you gets contracted. The more and more you start thinking about the society, about the country, about the whole world, the power in you gets expanded. It develops because we have that power. That is the speciality of human being. So that is why Swami Vivekananda says, be a large-hearted person. Just do not think about yourself. Of course, when you are a student, when you are a youth, when you are developing your personality, you have to focus more and more how to develop your knowledge, how to develop your personality. And once you come to that stage, then you start thinking about the country, think about the society, think about the whole world, in what way I can contribute. The more and more you contribute, more and more purpose in your life is served. This is how Swami Vivekananda says. That is why have a noble goal of contributing for the welfare of the society, contributing for the development of the country, contributing for the whole world. Do something. That's what Swami Vivekananda says. Such a goal one must have. And after having the goal, Swami Vivekananda says, fix a method. Decide a method. A proper method to reach the goal. Goal is important. Equally important, the method by which you are achieving the goal. You cannot achieve the goal by hook and crook, remember. An ignoble path, a wrong path is not proper to achieve the proper goal, a noble goal. So that is why a noble path to achieve the noble goal. And once you decide the path, Swami Vivekananda says, forget about the goal, focus on your path. Focus on today, what you are doing today, what you are doing now. Focus your energy, focus your mind. That's what he says. If you want to strengthen your mind, Swami Vivekananda says, take up one idea, make that idea your life, think of it, dream of it. Let your muscles, nerves, brain, every part of your body be full of that idea. Just leave every other idea alone. This is the way to success, he says. That means focusing our energy on a particular work, whatever we are doing. When we are able to do that, focus our energy, that tremendous energy in us, that manifests. This power that manifests. That power, it is there already. It manifests. Each soul is potentially divine. Swami Vivekananda says, each soul is potentially divine. As of now, it is dormant. When you work hard, it's going to manifest. Have a noble goal and take a proper method to achieve that goal. Adopt a proper method. And then when you focus on the method, ultimately you are going to reach the goal and you will lead a noble life. That's what Swami Vivekananda says. So that is why, to do that, Swami Vivekananda says, God has given us this intellect, ability to think, differentiate between good and bad, and follow the good path, follow the noble path. God has given. It is but natural for a man to think of selfish ideas and go in a wrong path, because after all, that is the samskara one has got. But then, God has given us opportunity in the form of giving intelligence, ability to think what is good and what is bad. Swami Vivekananda says, first, before you act, first think whether it is proper, whether it is good for you, whether it is good for the society. And when you find it is good for the society, good for you, then alone you implement that idea. Otherwise, give it up. So use your brain. So when we travel in the proper path, ultimately we are going to reach our goal. So that is why Swami Vivekananda says, develop your intellect. And at the same time, he says that equal importance should be given to the heart, large-heartedness. Intellect and heart. These should be developed properly. And then Swami Vivekananda says, one must have faith in oneself, not only in oneself, faith in God. Faith in ourselves, faith in God. This is the secret of success. First, we must have faith in ourselves, and then we must have faith in God. Sometimes we know that, a lot of people have got faith in God, and that is why whenever there is a trouble, they go to God, they pray to God. Of course, it's not wrong, but what is wrong is that unless we try, first we have to try ourselves, because the same God in whom we have faith has created us. When He created us, He has not created us as a useless individual. He has given us power. Even an ant has got the strength and power to lead its life. In the same way, He has given that power to the human beings also. He has given that power. So when we understand this and we have faith in ourselves, first we struggle and then we leave the result to the God. That is what one has to understand. First one must have faith in oneself, then faith in God. If we don't have faith in ourselves, in having faith in hundreds of gods also is not going to work. So that's why Swami Vivekananda says, have faith in yourself. First develop faith in yourself, then faith in God. So having faith in God, what does it mean? Says, each soul is potentially divine. It's not only the tremendous power, it is the divine power that is within us. Ultimate goal of life is to manifest this divinity. Ultimate goal of life is to manifest this divinity. And then if that has to happen, remember the prayer, the meditation, this has to be followed. Yoga, what Swami Vivekananda calls. Not this yogasana. It's also required to develop the body. So today he says, in the first stage, we must develop our body. Be strong, he says. Strength is life, weakness is death. First, be strong physically. Because body is the vehicle to achieve the goal of life. If the body is weak, we are hampered. That it becomes an obstruction. Instead of helping us, making us a vehicle to reach the goal, body itself becomes a hamper. So that is why Swami Vivekananda says, it hampers our progress. That is why first develop a body, a strong body, healthy body. And then healthy mind in a healthy body. We need a healthy and strong mind. Again, so mental development. He says, read the life of great people. Read the truths of Upanishads. Abhi, be fearless, Charaiveti, move forward. These are the message that Upanishads give. And as Bhagavad Gita it says, Uddhared Atmanatmanam. One has to develop oneself. All these ideas expand our thinking, give us positive ideas. So the mental development, then intellectual development, understanding what's happening all over the world, and knowing what actually we are supposed to do, what we are supposed to achieve in life, understanding them, developing one's intellect. That's what Swami Vivekananda says. So the intelligence, and then the spiritual side of the personality, regular meditation and prayer. Have faith in yourself and know that the divinity is within you. And focus that mind, the concentrated mind, the focused mind, directed towards yourself. Within yourself lies tremendous power. It's only through meditation one can bring out. And Swami Vivekananda says, especially for the youth of the country, concentration. He says, it is concentration that is the secret of education. If you want to gain education, you must have concentration of mind. He says, mind has got tremendous power. When this mind is focused, as the scientists do, on materials of the world, and this nature gives its secrets to them. In the same way, the focused, concentrated mind, when it is focused on oneself, one's inner self. And this inner self gives out its secret. We get the spiritual secrets. Spiritual secret. So that is why Swami Vivekananda says, meditate. Don't waste your time in idle gossip, but meditate. And this meditation will help in the first level to concentrate the mind, and later on to understand the secret of oneself. Meditation is going to help us ultimately to understand oneself, the divinity that is within us. So this is one tremendous power message that Swami Vivekananda has given. And along with that, he says service. It's very, very important for us to understand. We find in Swami Vivekananda the ideal of service. When Swami Vivekananda was there in America, there were people who were ready to build Ashrama for him, and they requested him to be there to teach them about the wonderful Vedanta. But Swami Vivekananda came back to India. Why? He said that India is the Guru when it comes to spirituality, world Guru, Vishwa Guru. And then he wanted to awaken this country so that again the secret that has gone to the caves of Himalayas comes out and is useful to the common masses of the country. If that has to happen, the people must get education, and then this idea has to be instilled. And that's why Swami Vivekananda came back from there and established Ramakrishna mission, traveled all over the country, and then awakened the people of India, and ultimately established the Ramakrishna mission. Why? To spread this idea, the spiritual ideas of India, the cultural ideas of India, the idea that is India, that has to be spread. For that purpose, he established the Ramakrishna mission. And then his life was completely dedicated for the cause of India. When after his travel all over the country as a Parivrajaka, he went to the last rock of India, Kanyakumari, and sat on that rock where today the Vivekananda Rock Memorial stands. For 3 days and 3 nights, he meditated. And from there he got the idea what he is supposed to do, what was his mission in life. So that is why we find Swami Vivekananda, he has got all these ideas. What is to be done? Study Vivekananda. Rabindranath Tagore says, if you want to know India, study Vivekananda. In him, everything is positive, nothing negative. If you want to really understand India, one must study Swami Vivekananda. That is why all our young friends must study Vivekananda. What happens when we study Vivekananda? There is a transformation. It has been seen in thousands of people. There are hundreds and thousands of people in different walks of life who have studied Swami Vivekananda, had achieved wonderful results in life, and have made their life fulfill its purpose, achieve the goal of life, have come out and became more useful than otherwise they would have been. So that is why if you have a goal in life, remember, if you want to achieve that goal, then study Vivekananda. He will give you the tremendous confidence in you, and he will show you the path, the inspiration and the guidance. This is what we get from Swami Vivekananda. So that is why on this day, on this great day of National Youth Day, let us take a pledge. All of youth of India, let us take a pledge. Let us study Vivekananda, Swami Vivekananda, his life and message. Reading a few quotations is not sufficient. Memorizing few quotations is not sufficient. Study him. When you study him, what happens? There comes the transformation. What I want to do in life. That's what we find after studying him. I will give you a simple example. See, in Hyderabad, there are some medical students. I was there for 6 years. And then every Sunday, I used to take a class for them. Karma Yoga of Swami Vivekananda, My India, India Eternal. These are some of the books we took for study. reading and discussion. It went on for almost 3 to 4 years. They were all, some of them were doctors, some of them were students, medical students. And then the result is, what they say is that they ultimately realized after studying that before that they had the inspiration. But then after studying his works, reading his works thoroughly, what happened? How to apply it in life, in their personal, in their practical life, in their professional life, that is what they found. The result is, if you go to Hyderabad, there is a place called Vikarabad near Hyderabad. And there stands one Swami Vivekananda Institute of Gurukula Excellence, Human Excellence. Vivekananda Gurukula of Human Excellence. An institution meant for orphans. Parents have left them. And these doctors have started a school for the street children who are simply abandoned by their parents. And then they give them wonderful education. There is the hostel for boys, hostel for girls, there is a school, wonderful education. The result is that, all those, there are about 130 orphans, and apart from that, there are so many other students, around 350 to 400 students from class 1 to 10, and they are taught both whatever Swami Vivekananda wanted. Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, yoga, all these things are taught. And along with that, the science and technology, the computer, all these things are taught. So that when they come out of that institution, they will be in a position to enter the world with tremendous confidence and also the power of character and also the orientation to do some service to the society or to the country. Remember, if they had not come to that institute, if these doctors would not have given them a chance, probably they would have become anti-social elements, because this country, this society is very cruel. Anything could have happened. But such people have been now being placed well in the society. That credit goes to these youngsters. How it happened? Because they studied Swami Vivekananda. Not just few quotations. They had the inspiration. But after studying, they realized, yes, they have this power. This is how Swami Vivekananda's idea has to be implemented. Yagna, the organization they called. And that institute is called Swami Vivekananda Gurukula for Human Excellence, to bring out that excellence. So that's why what I say is that study Vivekananda, youth of India. Then what happens? Whatever the goal you have in life, you will be able to reach that goal, first thing. And then along with that, there is a transformation, tremendous confidence. You start feeling confidence in yourself, in your power. And along with that, you will get the direction. How to implement that power, the strength that is within us in a proper manner, so that it will be useful to you as an individual, and also it will benefit the society and the country at large. That's why, dear friends, on this day, the 12th January birthday of Swami Vivekananda, let us remember him and take a pledge that we will study his life and message. May Swami Vivekananda inspire you all. This prayer, let me conclude. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.